All right, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Was a little technical difficulties this morning. Kind of battling technology here. But I think we're good. Had to fight the good fight this morning. You know? This will be officially my first sip of coffee this morning is right now. So cheers to everybody. I don't I don't like not having any coffee before the show starts. But we had to do that today. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Some video technical difficult. What's going on here? Well, we got taken care of. We're good to go. So a couple minutes late. What does that mean? It just means all right. We just got to play a little OT today. Got to play a little OT today. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Friday, February 7th. Got a really good show coming up today. Got a good quote here for everybody as well. The best way to predict the future is to create it. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Let me grab my phone here. All right, best way to predict the future is to create it. I'm going to make sure that got Mychal coming on a little bit later. So, if he texts me, I just got to make sure I'm here for my man. Let me give everybody a quick rundown of the show. We'll get the show started. Obviously, a lot to get into. Clearly a lot to get into, and there has been a ton to get into over these last. Today's going to be a little bit, kind of like the calm, the storm that was there for the last. It felt like week and a half, 2 weeks or so. Things are starting to kind of calm down a little bit, so it's not going to be as frantic as it's been in the past. So we'll just be hanging out today, right before Super Bowl Sunday, and which is kind of funny to me because I think everybody forgot about Super Bowl Sunday. At least I forgot about Super Bowl Sunday. So let me give everybody just a quick idea what we got going on for the show, and we're going to keep things going here. Lakers 11 games over 500. Let's talk about the Lakers. Just talk about that win last night a little bit. Nothing crazy. I think a little bit more to do with just stacking up another W. But there's a couple storylines that came out of that game for me. We'll wrap up the trade deadline. Just kind of a couple things to kind of keep in mind as we walk away from it. ESPN had some winners and some losers. You could imagine who the winners were. Lakers obviously being one of them. Potential buyout players. There's a couple names on there. Lakers are going to have some restrictions because they're over that apron. So there's certain players they can't go after. So if you're hearing certain names, that's not a lock or a guarantee that the Lakers can actually go after those players. So keep in mind, I'll try explaining it as we go here. This came up yesterday. I was going to bring it up anyways, but somebody brought it up in the post-game show. Starting lineup. What do Lakers do with their starting lineup once everybody's available? Once all the main players are available, once Luka comes back. So I'll get some Laker fans' opinion on that. And then Mychal Thompson is going to join the show probably about 8:30. That's the plan for now. Would love to get his thoughts on the NBA trade deadline. Super Bowl coming up. We'll do our weekend preview. Of course, that's going to include the Super Bowl. Mavs got their first game coming up tomorrow at home since they traded Luka. And there's potentially protests. They want to make sure there's no concerns as far as the safety and all that stuff. That's kind of an interesting, kind of a wild story, to be honest with you. That's what we got going on for today's show. Thank you very much for tuning in. So I appreciate everybody being a part of the show. And let's get this bad boy started. Let's take a look at. I do want to look at a couple comments here that we have, and then we'll highlight everything from there. All right, let's see what people got. Slee, good morning. Morning, brother. Morning, chat. What a great day to be a Laker fan. Let's see what else we got here. Already people chiming in on what Luka should do. Top of the morning, Slee. Let's see what else we have here. Happy Friday, Sliwa squad. Yeah, I had some people already breaking down everything around the Lakers. Look, I like this. I don't like that. I want this. I don't want that. I'm like, everybody just hold up and get the show started here. All right, last night, Lakers got a win, beat the Golden State Warriors. I mentioned this in the post-game show. I wasn't paying too close attention to how the Lakers won the game. Honestly, that franchise, Lakers are going to look so different stylistically they're going to look so different. So I'm just not going to pay too much attention to it. At the same time, it's a win that put them 11 games over 500. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but if you look in the standings, certainly kind of some interesting things happening in the standings. We've been kind of looking at potentially battling against the Denver Nuggets, and it's like, all right, let's see where Denver is. Can the Lakers surpass them? Can you try to get into that number 4 spot, potentially get a home game? Lakers or a home series, and I know we still got a lot of ball left, but just kind of talking about where the Lakers are sitting right now. They're 30-19. They got a 4-game cushion in the loss column to Minnesota and the Clippers. They got the same amount of losses as Denver and Houston. Houston's been reeling. They've lost 5 in a row. I don't know what happened to Houston. I don't know what's going on there. Houston's lost 5 in a row. They're literally a game and a half out of the number 3 spot in the Western Conference. So that's a little bit of a trip. That's not something that I thought, we got 3 games left before the NBA trade deadline. Was anybody thinking Lakers are fighting for the number 3-4 spot before the season started? New head coach. LeBron's going to be 40. Roster is imperfect. Some people like D'Lo. Some people didn't. What is this team going to do? Where's the direction of the organization? All that stuff. They're in the number 5 spot right now in the West, and right in front of them, very realistic, they can get potentially that number 3, number 4. I say all this because that's why last night, I don't really care how they play right now. They were phenomenal in the first half. They look great. I think they dropped another 69 in the first half. Everybody had it going. LeBron was doing his thing. Rui, some contributions. Gabe was hitting some shots. Everybody was, contributing on the offensive side. And then Golden State's like, cool, we're going to go ahead and make some adjustments here. We're going to make sure we take Reeves out of the game. Hopefully LeBron gets tired, and we're going to try to stop everybody else and then see if, they can get back in the game. And they did that. But you can't really assess you can't frankly even really assess the Golden State Warriors right now. There's not really much need to assess the Warriors right now because, all right, well, Jonathan Kuminga's going to eventually come back. They just acquired Jimmy Butler. He's obviously going to be in the lineup soon. That team's going to look a lot different. So it might not look perfect. There might have been some frustrations last night, but at the end of the day, kind of who gives a shit? It's like, they're at least in a spot where they could, at the absolute worst, just put themselves in a spot, grab the W, move on, and then figure out what Saturday is going to look like when you take on a tough Indiana Pacers team. So, like I said, I really do believe this when I say it. I would not pay too close attention to last night. Now, I will tell you this, if we're going to, I don't know if the right word is to pick on a player, I guess you want to call it. But even that, I'm not going to pay all that much attention to. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Austin Reeves. So a lot of people last night, as you can imagine, saying, what the hell is Reeves doing? How come he's taking this many shots? How come the guy can't hit a bucket? All that stuff. Guys, that's not going to happen when Luka's on the team. That's not going to happen when the Lakers add Luka Doncic. It's not going to happen when the Lakers add Mark Williams. I want to see something here because I don't know it right off the top of my head, but I do know that it was a lot of shot attempts. Do you guys think once Luka's a Los Angeles Laker that Austin Reeves is going to be firing away 17 shots, 9 threes, and getting 16 free throws? He's going to have the ball that often in his hands? He's not. Austin Reeves is going to become, to me, I think it's going to be the perfect balance for his game, and it might take him a second to kind of learn that and to figure it out and to get accustomed to how I play with Luka and LeBron. But Austin Reeves is going to be touching the ball. If he had the ball yesterday, whatever percentage of the time, he's going to have the ball 50% of what he had it yesterday. That's just not how it's going to work. And when Austin Reeves, he's not going to fire away 9 threes unless he's 5 of 6 from the 3-point line and they're saying, well, you got it going tonight. Go ahead and go. He's not going to have to dictate the offense. He's not going to have to put the Lakers in position. He's not going to be the screen and roll guy on every play. That's Luka Doncic. So just don't take that much away from last night for both teams. And don't take that much away over these next few games. really where I think, here's what I'm hoping for. 3 games left before the All-Star break. Good morning, everybody. That's just good right there. That's just good coffee. It's just good coffee. 3 games left before the All-Star break. I'm hoping go 2-1. You find yourself about 12 games over 500. Then after the All-Star break, now you're starting to try to put these pieces together. Now you're really paying attention to the standings and seeing how the Lakers can obviously see what this team's going to be. So even with everything last night, Bron was incredible again. Just incredible again. Just no way of 42, 17, and 8. I mean, monster numbers. I don't remember what Jordan was doing at this age. I don't remember what Dirk or Tim Duncan or Vince Carter, any of these guys were doing at this age. We never seen anything like this. Come on now. Grabbing rebounds, going in for dunks, pulling up from 35 feet and hitting buckets. And here's the thing too, and I think this is the other really important thing to point out. The beauty of the Lakers' position now, you're also not going to ask Bron to do this. Bron had to do this for a win yesterday. Had to. So the only way Lakers were going to beat the Warriors is if Bron did what he did last night. They're not going to need that from Bron. Bron can go back to his 25-7-7, and Lakers can still get a W because Luka's going to have 38-8. So it's going to be fun. Obviously, it's going to be a completely new era. Something that I put down here. I put recapping the deadline, but it's more from a topic perspective. To me, it has more to do with kind of this new chapter that's about to start with the Lakers. What a wild week in NBA basketball. But think about how wild specifically it is for the Lakers. Think about how many guys they traded. Think about what you thought a week ago when you were looking. It's actually a perfect example. A week ago when we were talking Lakers basketball, right here on this show. A week ago, I'm doing my show, right? On a Friday morning. Almost makes me want to go back and listen to it. Because the conversation a week ago was, who are they adding? Are you going to add Robert Williams to this team? Maybe Steven Adams to this team? I think Miles Turner was always out of the picture. I tried emphasizing that. But just Walker Kessler, maybe Nick Claxton. That's what we were talking about with the Lakers. And the vision was always the same that it's been for the last few years. All right, they're going to try to get AD another big. They need more size. Everything's going to run through Anthony Davis. What's the future look like for the Lakers? Well, it's up to Anthony Davis. And then a week later, here's what we're sitting here talking about. AD's gone. Max Christie's gone. Your picks are gone. Dalton Knecht is gone. You literally started this brand new era of Lakers basketball. It's as if Shaq left and now it's Kobe. It's a new era of Lakers basketball. It's as if Shaq signed with the Lakers from Orlando. It's a new era of Lakers basketball. The Lakers drafted Magic Johnson. It's a new era of Lakers basketball. Lakers traded for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It's a new era of Lakers basketball. LeBron decided to sign with the Lakers. It's a new era of Lakers basketball. Lakers trade for Anthony Davis. That's how seismic these last few days have been. But that's how quick everything just changed. It's like, you're going down the road. And it's like, this is the road. This is the road that the Lakers are going on. It's the only road that we're familiar with. And then out of nowhere, you just took this left turn and you're like, I don't know what the hell is going on. I've never seen this. I don't know where it goes. I don't know where it leads. I don't know if it's a good thing. It's a bad thing. It's a this, it's that. What a fascinating week for the Lakers. My one of my biggest takeaways, I was reading something this morning on ESPN. ESPN had kind of the winners and the losers of the trade deadline. And I think, I want to say I heard Ramona Shelburne say this yesterday as well when I was listening to some of these shows. I don't know if it's the exact way that you want to explain the trade deadline, but the Lakers basically kind of salvaged this season. Once they made the trade for Luka, what assets did they have to give up? All right, they gave up Max Christie. We all love Max Christie. They gave up Anthony Davis, complete baller and a champion. And they gave up 1 first-rounder. But I think the way I would sum up this trade deadline for the Lakers is in that moment on Saturday night, they still had assets left. And those assets got them Mark Williams, got them a 7-footer. Part of the article talks about how the Lakers could have easily, if you walked away on Saturday night and you said, hey, the Lakers just traded for Luka Doncic. And I told you, here are the details of that deal. Here's who they traded him for. Or this is how they got Luka. And I said, they traded Anthony Davis. You're like, okay, I get it. Traded Max Christie. You're like, of course, I understand it. They traded Dalton Connect. Yeah, makes sense. And they traded their 2029 and their 2031. If that was the trade package, I don't think there would have been a Laker fan that said, well, no, you can't do that then. I don't think they would have stopped at Dalton Connect. I don't think they would have stopped at that 2031. So in the article, and one of my biggest takeaways from the trade deadline is one of the most important parts of the trade deadline is what they had to give up for Luka and what they still had remaining to go get Mark Williams. I don't know if Mark Williams is going to be good. I just know that we need a young athletic center, and that's what they got with him. So when the dust settled, you could say that the Lakers, in the trade for Anthony Davis or in the trade to get Luka, you can also say the assets that they kept, they got Mark Williams. So I thought that was a kind of an interesting explanation from a few different people of you held on to some assets, so then you could go use those assets for, obviously somebody that was going to be important and should have a critical role in this team. Sometimes you have to take a break and just take a sip of coffee. It's nothing personal, it's just business. All right, let's keep going here. Let me do the buyout market here real quick, and then I'll start looking at people's comments. I got some new members here on the chat. Thank you very much for doing that. If you guys don't know the details of being a member, you could be a member of this channel. You could be an MVP member. What's it cost? $3 a month. Priced it out just right around a cup of coffee was the idea and the concept. Definitely would appreciate it if you are a member. So thank you for anybody that has decided to be a member so far. I will 100% have exclusive content for everybody. At some point here, we'll have special emojis and all that other stuff that just kind of comes with it. But for now, if you want to support the channel, it's a fantastic way to support the channel. And I will continue to use, obviously any of this that comes in to just give back to the channel. I love what I'm doing, by the way. This is it's kind of funny the way things have all panned out here over these last, call it a couple of months or so. But it's been great. It's been fantastic. I'm enjoying doing it. And if you guys are enjoying what I'm doing as well, and if you want to support the channel, that's a great way to do it, is by being a member. All right, let's talk buyout market. By the way, I'll put a link here, make it as easy as possible for everybody. If you want to join, there's a link there. You could click on it and you can join. Buyout market. Let me explain a couple things in the buyout market for everybody, because I'm actually learning a little bit about this as well. There are restrictions. Lakers are going to have some restrictions in the buyout market. Okay. Bobby Marks, good dude, man. I saw Bobby Marks yesterday at the game. Saw Bobby Marks, and I haven't seen Bobby Marks in a long time. And he's like, how you doing? What are you doing now? I'm like, I'm 100% on YouTube. And I'm like, Bobby, I thought a couple times about reaching out, but I'm like, yeah, this. He's like, well, just reach out then. I'm like, okay. All right. My bad. I'll reach out. But obviously Bobby Marks, phenomenal, used to be an executive in an NBA front office when the team was still in New Jersey. I think it was part of the New Jersey Nets. And I'm reading one of his tweets here. Was it last night? I think it was yesterday he put this out. He said, here are the post-deadline first, second apron teams. Boston, Denver, LA, Milwaukee, Minnesota, New York, and Phoenix. Here's why it's important that I'm pointing this out. The 7 teams are not allowed to sign a player that is waived and had a pre-existing salary of $12.8 million plus. Okay? So I know people are looking at, and I saw, some people in the chats. I saw a couple different times. I saw people throwing out names. Hey, Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown's probably going to go get bought out. Go get him. Ben Simmons, whether you want Ben Simmons or not, that's another name that has been thrown out there potentially in the buyout market. Those guys make over $12.8 million. So the only way the Lakers we're going to be able to do this is if they yesterday traded Maxi Kleba, put together another deal to shed salary so then they can put themselves under that apron so then they could potentially go out and get a guy like Bruce Brown or Ben Simmons or one of those other players. So those guys are not going to be available. So I just want you guys to kind of keep that in mind. If there's names that you've been hearing that you're hoping can be associated with the Lakers, this new CBA restricts the Lakers from going out and get players like that. And we've seen in the trade market, Lakers have gone out. They've Spencer Dinwiddie, Markieff Morris, I think, came in the buyout market. Andre Drummond has came out in the buyout market. So there's definitely been some players that the Lakers have utilized in the buyout market. When they traded Dalton Connect, Cam Reddish was also in that deal, and they only got back Mark Williams, and they opened themselves a roster spot. I was listening yesterday. This was something that Pelenka was saying, that he's going to be patient in the buyout market, not going to rush anything, going to kind of let things play out and see what's available. And maybe there's going to be a player that we don't know today that's going to be available tomorrow. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see. But something to keep in mind, some of these names that you're hearing in the buyout market are not necessarily going to be the guys that the Lakers can go after and that are available to the Lakers. They'll be available for other teams, but they're not going to be available for the Lakers. The names that I'm hearing that I've read in a couple different articles: Josh Richardson, realistic; Seth Curry, Reggie Jackson. It's going to be those kind of guys. So those are the players, at least it feels like right now, that if the Lakers are able to go do something in the buyout market, it's going to be players like that. So, you guys can, nothing earth-shattering. It's not going to be a player that, we're all looking at and saying, oh my gosh, the Lakers are a completely different team. So I don't think that's going to be happening. Something to keep in mind in regards to that. All right, let's take a look at some of everybody's comments here. Let's see what we got going in the comments. Tommy Alvarado, thank you, brother. I appreciate you being a member. Thank you very much. Very, very nice of you right there. Let's get one of Tommy's comments as well. Let's go, Sliwa. Love to see the channel grow. Shadow Boxing Nation. Yeah, I'm training now too. I'm in a complete boxing training right now. I take about 3 classes a day. 3 boxing class. I spar hours a day. Tommy, thank you for the super brother, and I appreciate you being a member. Let's take a look here at a couple more. Okay, we're still here. Tommy just grabbing stacks of money and throwing it this way. Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate you. A couple years ago, no one thought we'd be in the Western Conference Finals. Anything is possible. Yeah, this one's interesting too, because the whole just shift. It's a completely different shift of who this team is, how they're going to play. AD's not there anymore. Whatever your style of play was, and you had AD for 6 years, that's completely going to change. Getting to the Western Conference Finals, I got to be honest with you. I think now that the dust is settling on the West, it's pretty open. And I don't know what Luka and LeBron and Dorian Finney-Smith, who I love watching, Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, who I love watching, Gabe Vincent's been better, Rui Hachimura, Mark Williams. I don't know what this team's going to look like. I know they're not going to have a lot of time, but I think a lot of people got faith in JJ Redick. I think a lot of people got faith in kind of the direction of where the team is going right now. But having that all gel in the next 8-9 weeks, that would be the part that I think is going to be the toughest to figure out, is getting everybody to gel. Roy, thank you for the super brother. Morning, Slee, Lakers Nation. Your thoughts are chances of a chip this year. Wishful thinking on my part. Gotta be honest with you. That I think is tough that's tough to kind of wrap my brain around. I think for me, it's less about winning a championship. It's more about, I just got to see the squad. Everybody is so wild right now in their what they think the Lakers can do. I'll give you an example. Either it's just a stream of confidence of Lakers coming out of the West, or Lakers Thunder in the Western Conference Finals, or it's, they're not better than Dallas. They're not better than OKC. Houston can take them out. Memphis, Denver. I think the predictions are so wild up to this point. For me personally, I gotta see these guys play. Like I need to see a month after the All-Star break. What does this thing look like? Is it clicking right away? How are these guys um, complementing what Luka brings to the table? How do Luka and LeBron kind of you go, I go, even though I don't think you want it like that. I think you just want the natural flow of the game. So it would be so premature and so tough to actually have, any type of prediction. Roy, I appreciate the super there. Let's get a couple more of these comments in. More people here. LeBron is just crazy. Just stupid. Makes no sense to me. It really truly should make absolutely no sense to anybody. It really, really should make no sense to anybody. I don't think anybody could make sense of it. Even there's a lot of times you even see Braun. Braun's like, yeah, I'm not even sure what's going on. All right, quick shout out here. One of our main partners, first partner I've had on the Sliwa Show, by the way. I want to give them a quick shout out here. I've talked about them. I'm going to kind of continue to introduce my relationship with Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. Great person, known for about 5 years or so. Injury attorney for the entire state of California. He could help you if you're ever in need. I hope you're never in need, but if you or someone you know, a loved one, a family member, has been in a serious injury, you should reach out to Brad Wallace, or you can reach out to me. I'll make an introduction to somebody who owns this company, very successful firm, and somebody that's incredibly trusted in the business. Let him walk through for you or your family all your legal options. I'm sure it's very intimidating. It's a daunting process. Let an expert be the one in the field that helps you. Like I mentioned, you can help anyone in the state of California. Quick story about me and Brad Wallace. When I was over at 710 ESPN, he targeted me on the air and was like, I want to work with that guy, which I was very appreciative of. So him and I worked together for a couple of years. Even when that relationship ended on 710 ESPN, him and I always kept in touch. When I left 710, he was one of the first calls that I made, just kind of talking to some people that I knew and I trusted. And it's funny, one of the first things that he told me, he's like, congratulations. I'm like, congratulations? He's like, yes. You're now a business owner. You're going to figure out how to do this. You're going to learn so much more by kind of going off on your own venture. And here he is. He followed me on YouTube to be a partner and continue to support me and the channel. So I got a lot of love for him. And I know, like I mentioned, that he can help. Hopefully you never need him, but if you ever need an introduction, you can go to our kind of special URL that we created, wallacewins.com/Sliwa. wallacewins.com/Sliwa. You can get a free consultation. And like I said, I'm happy to make any type of introduction. So shout out to the Wallace firm and shout out to Brad Wallace and his team over there for being partners. Okay. I want to read a couple more of these here as we keep going. Let's get some more comments in here. Squeeze in as many of these comments as we can. Let's see here. Slee closing in on 30. We're getting close here. I think we're like 400 away. So if you haven't subscribed yet, get in and subscribe. Be number 30. AD, best player on the Lakers. He made the shot to beat the Nuggets to advance in the bubble. Well, let me tell you one thing. Better start turning the page here, because, if the idea and the concept before, was Anthony Davis, and obviously everybody had love for Anthony Davis, you're going to have to start turning that page. And I don't even say that, being disrespectful to AD or any of that stuff. It's just kind of the reality, right? Kind of the reality of the Lakers situation. It's like you got Luka Doncic now. Whatever he was in the past, it's going to be turn the page and move on. All right, let's keep going here. West is very wide open. That's not a crazy statement. It's not that it's crazy. It's we haven't seen these guys play together. You're right that the West is wide open, but I also have not seen this team play one game together. Mark Williams hasn't joined the team yet. We'll see if he can go tomorrow. That'd be great if he can go. Get any help against the Pacers tomorrow. Pacers are a good team. They've been balling. So you kind of have, you kind of have this situation, I think, for the Lakers where you can definitely feel positive about where they're going, but at the same time, you're kind of asking yourself, all right, well, what is it all going to look like when everybody's there? I don't think people realize how great LD is mind-boggling. He's going to win multiple chips and MVPs. He took Kyrie to the finals last year, LD obviously being Luka Doncic. If healthy, he's going back with LBJ this year. Unbelievable. Yeah, I think people know how good he is. Here's the argument that I would make. I think it's one thing for him to be as great as he is. I actually genuinely believe he's got another level coming. You know what's funny? Everybody keeps talking about this guy's weight. The guy doesn't look out of shape. Am I missing something with that? When he came to the presser, he looked like he definitely did not look a guy. I know there's been times in his career he's been chunky, but there was never a time for me that I'm watching Luka Doncic since he's been a Laker, since he's sitting on the sideline, since he's getting some of these interviews, since he did his presser where I'm like, yeah, this guy's way out of shape or something along those lines. Like, never have I thought, at least up to this point, have I thought that. I think, Logan, I think a lot of people do know and understand just how great Luka is. But I actually think there's a completely different level, partially because he probably feels disrespected. He feels hurt. You saw him at the presser. Obviously, the way things were looking and the way they unfolded in Dallas, you're probably going to get even a much better Luka Doncic. All right, Logan, thank you for the super, brother. Chuck, thank you for being a new member. I appreciate you. Count, thank you for being a new member. I appreciate everybody. All right, my people. When Mychal Thompson is ready, then we are ready. So now I sit back. I welcome in Mychal Thompson. Mychal, how many championships? How do I introduce you now? I lose count.
Well, yeah. Sometimes I have to count them up myself.
Yeah,
I've been involved with 11 championships by my last count. So that's 9 NBA championships, 1 Olympic championship, and 1 World Cup championship in basketball. So that's 11.
Okay, so I got a question.
That's Bill Russell.
Okay, you have passed Bill Russell, right?
Oh,
that's right.
Matched him.
Oh, okay, that's right. No, it's even.
I haven't caught Phil Jackson. I think Phil Jackson has 13. I think he has the most.
He's got the most.
Two as a player with the Knicks, then 11 as a coach.
So then why when they do the all-time greats, why don't you just throw all your rings to the table and say, well, where am I in this conversation?
Exactly. I should be in the conversation. Right now, me and Bill Russell is tied second for the most championship rings ever collected. So I guess I'm
very disrespectful.
Yeah. So that's okay. Nobody ever mentions me, but I just go to my jewelry box and count the 11 rings every time they forget to mention me. And I remind myself that I am a holder of 11 rings.
That's all that matters, Mychal. When you go to bed at night, mentally, you're in a good place. What's going on, brother? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Looking forward to seeing how the new additions all work out with Dallas and the Lakers. Can't wait to see how Dallas looks tomorrow with Anthony Davis.
Yeah,
I think everybody's overlooking that part of the trade. Everybody's concentrated on Luka. This is now Luka land, the LA Lucas, but people act as if the Lakers or Dallas just got some run-of-the-mill player for Luka or some role player and a bunch of draft picks. Dallas actually got the second best big man in the game. And what he's going to bring to the Dallas Mavericks, if they're healthy going into the playoffs, they're my team to beat.
Okay, so Mychal, let me ask you this: is it? I think it's. I don't think people are trying to be disrespectful to Anthony Davis. I think there was just I think there was such a shock that it was Luka.
Because
you know what I mean?
They are being disrespectful to Anthony Davis because yes, Lakers got themselves a future Hall of Famer too. But they forget that so did the Dallas Mavericks and how good he is. And they're just downplaying the Dallas part of the deal about how could you give up Luka? Yes, he's 25. I understand that. But Anthony Davis is in his prime for the next 4 or 5 years. Okay,
so do you think that trade of now here's the issue Dallas is going to deal with. Dallas's issue is they already made it to the NBA Finals with Luka, with a 25-year-old Luka. If the Dallas Mavericks get to the NBA Finals, is that your favorite to come out of the West? Do you think Dallas is the best kind of well-rounded team? They got the right pieces to come out of the West?
If they are healthy, yes.
Okay.
There's Oklahoma City still in it, of course. And the Lakers now have the way they're playing. Now they're a threat. So definitely. So to me, those top three teams, Minnesota, Denver, obviously got to respect them. Memphis, but Memphis is still young and sort of erratic, even though they're good. Houston, too young. So I think the top three teams to face maybe Cleveland or Boston in the finals are the Lakers, Dallas, and Oklahoma City.
So I want to go back to, because I love your perspective, because not a lot of people are saying what you're saying about, hey, look how good Dallas is going to be now with Anthony Davis. All the attention has just been on Luka. So that's where the attention has been. But I think this is what Nico Harrison and the Dallas Mavericks ownership, this is what they're going to battle with. What they're going to battle with is, let's just say they got to the NBA Finals and Dallas came out of the West. And I'm just playing a hypothetical. They play Boston again. And Boston is just better in a 7-game set. It goes 6 games and Boston wins again. They really didn't accomplish anything different by getting Anthony Davis, because they were already in the NBA Finals. And Luka, that franchise player that you thought 25, 20, this guy's going to be here for another 7, 8, 10 years or whatever the case is, you lose that player. There was such a connection to Luka that I think that's the frustration with the Dallas Mavericks and their fans. It's not only do they want to win a championship, but they're okay to wait as long as it's with their guy. Do you at least see that perspective?
Yeah, they have more time with Luka because he's only 25, and the way he plays, he's going to play till he's in his late 30s at the style that he plays with, on the floor, slow, and at his own pace. So, yeah, they had a good 10-year window with him. Now with Anthony Davis, they have about a 3 or 4 or 5 year window to win a championship. So that is the difference in trading Luka as opposed to picking up a 31-year-old all NBA player like Davis.
Yeah, you love yourself some Anthony Davis. A lot of Laker fans. I mean, I'll tell you this in the chat. There's always, I don't think people have anything negative to say about AD.
Oh no, not at all.
I think it's more just maybe an excitement that you're getting this international superstar that you also, there wasn't a lead up to this. There wasn't a month ago we were all saying, hey, I think Luka might be a Laker, or hey, Luka's demanding out of Dallas. It just kind of all happened overnight.
As all trade should happen. If I was a GM and I wanted a player or players, and especially if it's an all NBA type player, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to call the other GM and say, hey, man, between me and you, don't tell the agents. Let's just you and me work this out. Just don't let this leak, because we don't need the headaches of people battering us and badgering us about why you're going to do this. And maybe some people like that because it generates more interest for their team and for the NBA. But if I was a GM, I would definitely operate the way Pelinka and Nico Harrison did it, just by one-on-one and what do you call that? In silence and when you and covertly,
incognito, just like
covertly, keep it quiet. It's between me and you. The way the mob does deals.
I like that.
Go into a parking lot or something, sit in your car where you know it can't be bugged. That's the way the mob do deals.
I want to see next time. I want to see Nico Harrison or Rob Pelinka just walking down Figueroa. Michael, they're covering their mouths like this while they're talking. They have a toothpick in their mouth and they're negotiating the whole deal.
No, you even can't do it that way because they got these microphones that you can sort of like they use in the NFL, where they can pick up sounds from across the sideline. So somebody can be sitting in a van, an unmarked van, or just a white van with holding one of those like little dishes, and they can pick up your conversation. So if you're gonna do those kind of deals, to really do it privately where no one can hear, you got to do it probably like in a bar with music being played. So they can't, and you got to lean in right next to each other and sort of whisper to each other.
I like that. I like the mob reference.
Do it the way that remember John Gotti?
Of course.
The old mob boss in New York. What he used to do is he knew what they suspected where they hang out was bugged. So to avoid being heard, and the FBI figured it out what they were doing too. So to avoid being listened to, bugged, they would go upstairs to this old lady's apartment above their hangout.
But they got a recorder there, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how he got caught.
Yeah, eventually the FBI figured out, they're going upstairs to have their secret meetings. Let's sneak into that lady's apartment and plant a bug there. And that's how they actually got caught unawares that there was a bug in the old lady's apartment above their hangout.
You know what's so funny? That to me is, how fascinating is that world? right? That world of how they, and by the way, this is all of just what we know. Imagine what we don't know.
Yeah,
but
I would not. If I grew up in that neighborhood, in the neighborhood these guys grew up in, and I had a chance to join the families, I wouldn't have the courage to do it, because as soon as they suspect you are a rat, even if they suspect it, they're taking you out for a ride and you ain't coming back.
Let me tell you what you would be if you were in that neighborhood. Okay. You'd have a small business.
Yeah.
You'd have like a bakery or something.
Yeah.
And then you would pay your mafia tax every month.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And you would say nothing else.
Nothing else. I just want whatever the percentage is. So they want 20% of my earnings. Here you are, fellas. I the only way to avoid it is you have to move to someplace else in Montana or Wyoming and set up your business there. But if you're gonna live in that neighborhood, in that world, you had to pay for their protection.
You know, we're never gonna get this, but I think sometimes in the sports world, like we heard Nico Harrison say how the deal went down. They went and grabbed a cup of coffee. Nico Harrison kind of initiated. Pelinka kind of told his version of the story. Right after they were done talking, he picked up the phone. He called Jeannie and said, hey, this could potentially happen. But that is a fascinating world, how all those deals, get done. Maybe it's not as exciting as we think it is, but I'm sure there's so many deals that happen that just kind of come out of nowhere. Not mafioso style, but in some regard. Okay, so you were in New York. This was right after the Lakers-Knicks game. Can I guess what you were doing?
Yeah, go ahead.
You were in your hotel room. You were ordering room service. And you were taking in the Big Apple by enjoying the hotel room with the TV on. Am I pretty close? Okay.
Close. We had just arrived at the hotel. I was walking through the lobby, going to the elevator, push the button, and up behind me walks Janie Buss. You know who Janie Buss is?
I'm going to assume the sister.
Yeah, one of the Laker owners. She's one of the 6 Buss kids who own the Lakers, part owner of the Lakers. Obviously, Jeannie runs it, but Jeannie's as much a part owner as Jeannie is.
Of course.
So we were in the elevator riding up to our separate rooms, and Janie was with her daughter, and all of a sudden the phone rings, and Ireland's on the phone and says, hey, did you hear about the trade? I said, what trade? Anthony Davis just got traded for Luka. I said, come on, somebody just hacked your phone. That cannot be true. Agreed. And Janie was right there next to me. And so she was like, what happened? I said, I don't know. There's something going on about Anthony Davis traded for Luka. And she couldn't believe it either. So I said, that's not true. Somebody's playing us some kind of early April Fool's joke. Like what happens on the internet sometimes. But Ireland says, no, that's what they're saying. Shams is reporting it. I said, well, somebody hacked his phone. So that's not happening. Anyway, so Ireland said, well, I'll call you back. I'll check. So we got off the elevator. I got off on my floor, said bye to Janie, went to my room, turned on ESPN. And I looked for the crawl because there was a college basketball going on. It was 12:05 a.m. New York time because we were on the East Coast. So I looked on ESPN and said, let me see if this is true, because it would obviously be breaking news on ESPN. There was nothing there for like 5 or 10 minutes. I said, see, somebody's playing a joke. If it's not on ESPN's crawl during a live college basketball event, then obviously it didn't happen. And then Ireland called me back and said, yes, it's true. I said, I still don't believe it. And then about 5 or 6 minutes later, breaking news across the ESPN. Said, wow, how about that? So I probably had the reaction of everybody. No,
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny because I've told this story a couple different times, and I think everybody feels the same way. When you first saw Shams' original tweet, I'm like, yeah, he got hacked. Yeah. And then when you saw Shams' second tweet saying this is real, I'm like, he 100% got hacked. That's what a hacker would do. A hacker would tell you that this is supposed to be real. Okay, you've been around the NBA for a long time. Can you remember a kind of a shock moment like that, where you got everyone around the league that was that surprised, everyone in the league that just had no idea that was going to happen? Where does just kind of that moment? Listen, it's not on the basketball floor, so I'm not trying to compare it to anything that actually happened on the court, but where's that moment in kind of Mychal Thompson's, oh my gosh, that's going to go down as one of the biggest moments in NBA history?
Yes, it's one of the biggest trades ever made because of the players involved, 1-for-1, because superstars have been traded before. Wilt was traded, but for a bunch of role players. Kareem was traded, but for a bunch of role players, good players, but not for the next superstar like him. It wasn't like Kareem was traded for Wilt or Kareem was traded for, who was the other great player during his time? Maybe a Walt Frazier or something like that. You know, when those great players, Shaq was traded for a bunch of guys from Miami. You know, it happens. Superstars being traded, but for two players at such an even level when it comes to being all NBA, this is the most shocking or even the biggest trade. It's not the best trade ever made in basketball history. Only one trade will ever be the best trade ever made in basketball history, and that happened back in the 50s. And of course, you know what that is.
In the 50s, I know what that is.
Yeah, it's so obvious. That's the greatest trade ever made in basketball history, and it'll never be matched. The St. Louis Hawks traded the rights for Bill Russell to the Boston Celtics. And I guess when Russell went to the Celtics, I don't know. I guess he did okay after that.
He did all right.
Yeah, he did all right after that. So, but this trade will never live up to the Bill Russell greatness trade. No trade will match up to that when a guy gets traded to a team that leads him to 11 championships in 13 years. But as far as one-on-one, player for player, the enormity of and the talent of the players involved, this probably is the biggest trade ever made between two equally talented players. Because it would be like Kobe getting traded for Dwayne Wade, maybe something like that at the time, because they're both in their prime and both all NBA guards. Or Kobe being traded for, let's see, Kobe was in the early 90s. Who was the other super duper star in the early 90s?
You look at like Allen Iverson back then.
Kobe for Allen, right. Yeah. Or Hakeem for Patrick Ewing or something like that. Yeah. So this trade is like on that level.
Well, I was curious your opinion because you've been around the game for so long, and I feel like it doesn't matter whatever age you are, it had the same shock level for everybody. And that doesn't happen very often. Like somebody, you might say, I've been around this league a long time. Nothing surprises me anymore. But I think this one surprised. I think this one surprised everybody. I got okay. So
I got surprised by Jimmy Butler getting rewarded so handsomely after being so rebellious and insubordinate.
Okay.
It worked out for him. He got $120 million more after disrespecting the Godfather, Pat Riley. How about that?
Let's be honest about that one. I think your take, how do you view Jimmy Butler today? And do you feel like, he was rewarded? That's the right word. Yep. Basically, by him saying, I'm not coming to work, he was rewarded. Listen, it's a business. He got the extension he was looking for. I think if you ask Jimmy Butler, he would say it's nothing personal. It's just business. Do you view Jimmy Butler a little bit differently?
No, he's always been high maintenance. Wherever he's gone, he sort of burned the place down on the way out. He really didn't do it in Philadelphia. They traded him. He kind of wanted to stay in Philadelphia and play with Embiid, but they chose Tobias Harris over him, which was a mistake because Jimmy's a better player. He sort of burned it down in Minnesota to leave. Chicago, kind of like that. Now, obviously, Miami. So he's always been kind of cantankerous and a high maintenance guy wherever he's been. So now he'll be in Golden State. It's Steph Curry's team. This is his last big deal. So maybe he'll finally settle down and retire quietly or play quietly the next 3 years and just be satisfied that now that he's got his money.
I'll go quiet at 111, 121, whatever he ended up getting.
I think wasn't it 2 years?
You're right. Yeah, I think you're right. 120.
Over 3 years, he'll make $170 million or something like that. Not bad.
Mychal, just curious here. Do you know what this comment means? Can you see the comment here?
Donnie Brasco?
Have you seen Donnie Brasco?
Yeah, wasn't he some kind of a mob guy?
So, okay, have you seen the movie or no?
No,
we're talking about mob movies earlier.
Yeah, love those kind of movies.
Okay, please do me a favor. You got to see Donnie Brasco.
Is it as good as Goodfellas?
No, but it's in my opinion, it ain't that far from Goodfellas. And Goodfellas is the cream of the crop. Like you can't get. I mean, Casino, Goodfellas, Godfather. You don't get better than those.
Right.
Okay, so Donnie Brasco, Al Pacino, Johnny Depp. So you already got two phenomenal actors.
Yeah.
But the story is so good because Donnie Brasco is an FBI informant that infiltrates and based on a true story, infiltrates the mob and gets so involved into the mob. He's kind of having difficulty of like, do I just join the mob at this point? Like he's That's how far he infiltrates. So anyways, I think you'll like it. So
yeah, check it out.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I like those kind of movies. I'll check it out.
Okay, so Luka's a Laker. You and I have talked about this. I love that. If you could let listeners know, because you've said this, that for a professional athlete, your body is your temple, I guess you want to call it, right?
That's office, your building.
It's your office, it's your building. Your body is everything. And Luka, on his way out the door, Nico Harrison was talking about whether he said it or indirectly, it come out conditioning issues. He's ballooned to 270 or something. He doesn't look like 270 to me. And you and I have had conversations like this. And I'm not telling you that the good thing with Luka, he's not trying to be Ja Morant, right? Like his game is not these explosive guards.
Uh-uh.
However, what do you want to see from Luka for his own benefit, the Lakers' own benefit, when it just strictly comes to he can have the best body for his game?
I want to see a lighter Luka. I said this when he was with Dallas Mavericks. He's too fat. That's why he's always hurt. He is. That's why he's always hurt and have all these ailments, lower body ailments and stuff. You got to be in shape. Why do you think LeBron James is at 40 years old been able to do what he can do? Kobe Bryant in his late mid 30s was still able to play at the All-Star All-NBA level because those guys were conditioning freaks. Steve Nash, the same thing when he was 34, 35, not 2, 3, 4, 5, 8% body fat. So I don't understand how, and Luka will never be Mr. Bodybuilder. I understand that, but my goodness, lose weight, play at 230 and not 260 or 250, and you'll be amazed how that's gonna make your career longer. It's gonna keep you healthier and make you a more efficient player. If you take pride in your physical conditioning, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, look how lean he is, not a piece of fat on him. A Ja Morant, now like I say, different body types, but you can get in better. Charles Barkley. Remember when Barkley came into the league? You were too young back then, but he was a chubby little guy.
Is this the Moses Malone story?
Exactly. Charles went to Moses Malone and says, "Man, why ain't the coach playing me more? I should do this. I should be that." And Moses Malone said, "Because you're too fat. You lose some weight." Moses Malone was blunt with him. And Charles Barkley tells the story. Somebody needs to be blunt with Luka. If I was his teammate, I would tell him, "Say, man, get in shape. You're the face of this franchise. You can make 345. Well, he's still in line for that. His next deal will be 5 years, $400 million, they project. If he signs like a 2-year extension and then he goes back into the Supermax area. So he'll sign a 2-year extension with the Lakers. That takes him up to age 28. And then he can sign a 5-year deal for like 400. That takes him to age 33. And his way he plays, if he's playing at 230, he can get another 5-year deal for another $500 million. So we're talking about $1 billion over the next 10 years. You mean if me and Luka was sitting down over a salad, right, and no dessert, and I would say, Luka, do you realize you can make $1 billion over the next 10 years if you get in shape and keep yourself healthy? $1 billion just on salary alone, Luka? Just get in shape. Is it worth losing 30 pounds for $1 billion? I mean, I would say, yeah, I've got to change my diet. I'm going to change my workout habits. He's 25. It ain't that hard to do. He'll lose the weight easily if he just changes habits for a betterment of his career and for the Lakers. I would have that blunt conversation with him. If he was a friend of mine, if he was sitting down, if he ran into the lobby and we're having a cup of coffee together, I'd say, man, Luka, what do you weigh? He'll probably 260, whatever. I said, why don't you get down to 230 and see how different your body's going to feel and how much better you're going to be. That's what I would tell him bluntly and say, you got $1 billion riding on the line. Do you want $1 billion? If not, you can make, I don't know, I guess this money is so crazy to think about. Instead of $1 billion, but maybe you'll make 600 million, 700 million. But wouldn't you want that extra 300 million? Because that extra $300 million, if you got in shape, when you're 34, 35, like LeBron, you'll be able to play another 5 years because you're in shape and you're taking care of your building. You're maintaining your structure. Like you would if you own a business. You're not going to let it become dilapidated or overrun with weeds,
sure,
dirt, paint falling off the building, looking all disheveled. Well, that's what you are. That's what you are. Your building is you. That's what your body is. So you got to keep it looking good. And when you look good, you feel good, and you'll play good.
Well, and the thing that, I'm sure there's other NBA players or athletes too. This is something he can control.
Zion in the same thing.
But what I was going to say is, like, Brandon Roy couldn't control his injuries.
Yeah. Or Sam Bowie. Yeah.
Or Sam Bowie couldn't control, or Greg Oden.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
this is something that, while he's as young as he is, he's got this gift of course, a gift as a basketball player, his knowledge, the way he sees the game, all that. This is something that he can control and try to control it right now. Obviously, how it prolongs him. Am I, and this because you were in the NBA, you are a champion, your son, all of your sons, just incredible what they've been able to do, and just athletes, and I'm sure those competitive juices come. You can speak to it probably better than most. My question is, Luka got traded at age 25. It feels like it was blindsided. He didn't see it coming.
Of course not.
You got Nico Harrison, who basically on the door was saying, like, hey, defense wins championships. We got somebody else that we feel like is going to win a championship, not you. How personal do you think Luka takes this, and how much can it benefit him? If let's just hypothetically he stayed in Dallas, nothing changed. He's a god over there. Everything he's doing. And then overnight he gets traded. He's now on the Lakers, where there's real expectations every single year, realistic or not. There's always expectations to win. Do you want to be a Lakers legend? Because you have an opportunity to do that based on being here for 7, 8, 10 years, what you can accomplish. Does he take all of this? Like, from your perspective, is the best version of Luka to come if he wants to take what happened in Dallas personal and obviously come to a franchise where the expectations are to win chips?
Sure, I'm sure his pride is hurt, and he's probably offended that they traded him. He was the face of the franchise, and he was probably thinking, I'm going to be here for the next 10, 12, 15 years. So, but every player feels that way. He's not the only one who feels a little slighted and a little hurt when the team trades. I'm sure it was a shock to Max Christie too. Obviously, at a much lower level. That, whoa, I got traded. I thought the Lakers liked me. I just signed a 4-year extension. Same thing for Anthony Davis. Whoa, the Lakers traded me. So, geez, I thought me and LeBron and the Lakers were tight. So it happens to every player. Every player feels that way. I felt that way when the Blazers traded me, obviously on a much smaller scale. But wow, why did they trade me? I thought they liked me. So everybody, or it's like if your girlfriend dumps you or your boyfriend dumps you out of nowhere. It's what? Or she has that, you're having dinner with her, says, we need to talk. You say, well, and she said, I don't think it's working out. I mean, everybody goes through that. And
hits your ego.
Yeah. And if people listening to us and watching us right now, maybe we'll call into the office and we'll let go and didn't expect it. So everybody knows how that feels when you're fired or broken up with somebody, you didn't see it coming. So everybody understands how that feels. And players are no different.
Yeah, I say that. I wonder if we can, maybe see even a better form of Luka based on, obviously what's kind of happened these last couple of days. I want to make sure that this is not a question I'm asking, because I know it will work and it will be fine. But can you just talk about Luka, LeBron together? Because I'm excited about it. I think a lot of people, LeBron's still playing. I mean, Michael, you're watching the game yesterday. Mm-hmm. And of all the players that are out there, Steph was amazing. That's great. But you got all these. Well, I guess let me stop. You're right. The amount of shots he took to get what he got. Right. Austin Reeves, same thing. Austin Reeves took 80 shots and couldn't hit a three. I by the way, I always use your example. I always use when you used to always tell me in the pregame, when I say this guy had 45, what's your first question usually is, how many shots did he take?
Right.
And then you're gonna backtrack and determine whether it was a good game or not. LeBron and Luka, just how excited are you? See just two great NBA players playing together. Just your thoughts on those two.
Oh yes, you got two of the best passers in the game, along with Jokic, of course. Two of the top 3 passes in the game, and the ball should be able to move. Now Luka's a ball dominant guy. He dribbles a lot.
Yeah.
Even when he's playing with guys like Clay or Kyrie Irving and other players he had who are good shooters, he still dribble too much, I thought. Yeah, he can get his own shot in a slow motion.
I'm with you.
So he needs to give the ball up more because the Lakers are at their best when the ball is whipping around to Rui and to Austin Reeves, obviously to LeBron, and to Dorian Finney-Smith. When the Lakers are moving the ball is when their offense is potent. So hopefully Luka will come out Monday night and utilize this great vision, court vision that he has, and his passing ability. And he has to learn how to mix it up. Yeah, he'll go one-on-one sometime and create for himself, which is fine, as LeBron does. But he cannot just over dribble like he did in Dallas while he was there. That's what I'm interested in seeing. LeBron, of course, will give the ball up anytime. That's how good he is. But Luka has to be more pass first thinking now. And he'll pick his spots when he'll take advantage of his matchup, which is fine. But I don't want to see him out there dribbling around trying to get his own shot for 17 seconds while Austin Reeves and LeBron and Rui are just standing there watching. We don't want to see that style like you had in Dallas.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. If it's the final shot of a quarter or final shot of the game and he's taking it, that's different. But I'm with you. Yeah. And that's got to be, like, as a teammate, that's got to be the worst style of basketball to be a part of.
Yeah. I see
stagnant.
Just stagnant. Everybody watching Luka. Sometimes we see it with Kyrie too, putting on a dribbling exhibition instead of moving the ball. That drives me nuts. I cannot stand watching that kind of offense. So, yeah, Luka will pick his spots. It's nothing wrong with him going to the basket, attacking the basket, or taking a step back threes that he loves to take. You'll see him do that too, but he's got to mix it up. He's got to have an even mix of doing that and moving the ball. Because if he moves the ball, he'll get it back. It's not like he's not going to see it again.
Mavs play tomorrow, and I think they're playing Houston. And there was a story out there about, I mean, you kind of saw a couple things. I had somebody on from the Dallas Morning News yesterday, and he was telling me a little bit about how there could be protests at the game tomorrow. One of the quotes here is that it's going to be a weird scene in the first home post-game trade. Whether you want to share or not, what are teammates thinking on the Mavs right now of just kind of this interesting situation? How do you quiet all the noise? Is Clay and AD and these guys just basically say, let's just go out there and freaking win games? Yeah. And if they just do that, the water will calm a little.
All they got to do is win tomorrow. Let AD go out there. He'll make his debut tomorrow, and let AD go out there and get his 25 and 15, and they win. And they see how easily he can score, how he defends. And they play against a good Houston team tomorrow in Dallas. And they go out and win the game, and they see how great a player AD is. That'll calm them down a little bit. They'll be a little upset because Luka was their favorite, of course. And so they'll be upset that he's gone. But as long as the Mavericks win and they can see how good they are with Anthony Davis, then all that protest will die down. So then it'll be there for a couple of games, couple of weeks, but it'll go away as long as they win with Davis.
Sure. No, it's going to be the main thing. Okay. Mike, I got some people that want to ask you a couple questions. You okay with that? If we get a couple questions here? Okay. Let's see what we got here. Let's get this one. Don says, that's a good name, Don. He's the Don. Don asks, thank you for the super, Don. A question for Mychal. Just curious on how he feels his son not going to the Lakers to play with Luka in Dallas and Luka ending up in LA.
Well, yeah, Clay, he kind of said that publicly, and he said it to me that he was disappointed Luka's not out there because he kind of chose Dallas because he likes Luka's style. But I didn't like Luka's style for him because I said, Clay, you are a player that has to get the ball on the move the way the Warriors play, whipping the ball around, moving, coming off screens. And in Dallas, I'm afraid you're going to go there, son, and just stand in the corner and wait for the ball. That's not your style. Last night in Boston, he looked like Klay Thompson to me because he was moving, cutting, catching the ball in rhythm, catching and shooting. The ball was moving last night as it should. That's the proper way to play. And I said, now that Luka's gone, now that you have Anthony Davis, I said, man, are you kidding me? Now the ball should move more and you should get more open shots because Davis is going to command so much attention. So, yeah, you're disappointed Luka's gone. But I said, be excited about who you're going to be playing with. You're playing with the second best big man in basketball. And oftentimes he's the best big man in basketball. When he can go out and get you 40 points, 20 rebounds, and protect the rim. What more do you need? I said, yeah, Luka's a good friend of yours, and you liked him and everything, and he's a dynamic player. But now I think having Davis on the team will free the ball up more, and you get better ball movement with better defense. I said, to me, I think you guys got a great deal, even though you're losing a young player, an all-NBA player. But don't forget, you're getting an all-NBA player back. You're not getting Miles Turner. You're getting Anthony Davis.
Yeah, for Clay, I mean, him personally, Kyrie personally, AD personally, they're on a timetable that actually is much more.
Right now, they got to win now.
Yeah, Clay's not worried about 5 years from now.
Yeah, exactly.
Neither is AD or some of these other
But
guys.
I
And
said, this makes you guys a championship team. As long as Lively gets back, that's another big guy.
Yeah.
I said, if he gets back in April and you guys get ready for your playoff run, I said, y'all can come out of the West with Anthony Davis if y'all are healthy. I told him that.
And Clay's never played. I'm trying to think here. Yeah, he's never played with a big like AD.
No, this will be his first time. He's played with him before in the World Cup team and in the Olympic team. He's played with him, of course. So he knows Anthony Davis is a teammate in that way. So he knows how great, and of course in the All-Star games, he knows how great. Well, no, forget the All-Star games; they don't count. That's an idiotic exercise. But he knows how good AD is from playing against him for so many years and playing with him on Team USA.
Which one's worse, the All-Star game or the Pro Bowl? Pro Bowl's pretty bad too.
No, the Pro Bowl's over with. They just out there playing flag football. That's all. Everybody knows what that is. But they're trying to salvage this All-Star game, which is just a joke. We'll see what the new format brings, I guess, next week. But thinking
they don't want to do it. Yeah, the players don't want to play. Yeah, there's no interest.
They should just have a banquet and interview all the players, and we can watch them eat. That'd be more entertaining. But
play ping pong or something. Like just kind of
pickleball. Let them play pickleball.
Go pickleball. It's a good idea. All right, let me get another one in here. I don't know if there's some context to this, and you've done this before. He says, which is heavier, a ton of feathers or a ton of steel?
Yeah, we've been having this argument on the air or the Art Mason show, and I said I'd rather get hit. They said, what would you rather have drop on you, a ton of steel or a ton of feathers? I said a ton of feathers, because they're not as heavy as steel, because if feathers hit you in the head, you can dig out of it. But if steel falls on your head, you're immediately dead.
Who's going steel in this conversation?
Everybody says it's the same. But I say, I don't think so, because steel has more density and mass and it's harder. So if it hits you, it can kill you quicker.
I'll take feathers. I'm with you with the feathers. I'll take feathers.
That's right.
Appreciate the super there, brother. He says Pelinka comes through again. Pelinka knows basketball. Yeah, he's looking like a king right now. But Mychal, listen, I love the perspective that you mentioned too. It's like everybody did get caught up in the Luka thing, but I gave you some of my reasons why. Obviously, for the Lakers, this is a much longer term play. But AD has not been part of any conversation, to be honest with you, when it comes to that.
People actually just gave away a second or just a role player, not an all NBA big man.
You know what I've been wanting to ask you is, for about a month, everyone was talking about how the NBA ratings are cratering. There's less interest in the game, all that stuff. What is the solution for the NBA? If the NBA is to ever kind of fix more interest, now you saw something from Adam Silver saying that 10-minute quarters, maybe that happens. We've seen a lot of ideas get thrown around. How do you get people to watch the NBA where the ratings they're not a conversation, that maybe they are? You don't got to compete with the NFL, but give me some. I know you've been around the game for a long time. Give me some ideas.
And I agree. This game stinks, and I love the NBA. Oh, I got so many ideas. If I could just have a sit down, as we say in the mob, if I could just have a sit down with the NBA committee.
Love the mob references, by the way. You should continue with all mob references.
Yeah, it's like people who make the rules in the NBA have never played basketball. I swear that they got a bunch of executives in there who just never played the game. I said, I don't understand the rules we have. Number one, get rid of call reviews. I can't stand these things. They stop the game for no reason. Get rid of defensive 3 seconds. Make it 10 team fouls before you shoot a free throw to eliminate more free throws. Free throws aren't exciting until the last minute when you got to make them to save the game or win the game. Get rid of 7 timeouts down to 5 to keep the game flowing. Get rid of only 1 timeout is allowed under 2 minutes to keep the game flowing. How often does it take 20 minutes to play 2 minutes of basketball?
Unbelievable. This
will all help the TV ratings, help the games flow. We're in a new age where everything's got to be quick now, because we have so many other things we can do to distract us with all these mobile devices, with so many different things now to take our attention away from sitting down for 2 or 3 hours, watching a game. Everybody will watch the Super Bowl, of course, but watching regular season games. Make the games flow freer, no foul outs. Why do we penalize players imagine Steph Curry, LeBron James picks up 2 quick fouls, maybe even 3. Now he's got to go sit out for the next 25, 30 minutes of play of action because he's got fouled. Eliminate the foul out rules where if you commit your 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever fouls after
technical,
6,
get like an extra free throw or something.
2 free throws and retain possession. So it makes it punitive to just not keep hacking. All these things I think would help the game flow freer and help a viewer bring more viewers. If you just get rid of these stupid and allow more trash talking. The fans love it.
Of course they do.
Trash talking each other like last night. Draymond and some other guys, Jared Vanderbilt got mixed up. No blows were thrown, but the guys got in their face, and the fans go, ooh. They love that. When they see a little verbal altercation on the floor, technical foul. You guys are talking trash to each other. These are grown men. Let them talk trash. This ain't in high school. The fans love it when they see a verbal altercation on the floor. Now, if you throw a punch or something, that's different. Nobody wants to see a fight. But let the guys talk trash to each other. It makes it fun. When you see guys pointing at each other and talking trash, as long as it doesn't escalate to a punches thrown, who cares? The fans love it.
No, and by the way, last night was a great example because I think it was it Draymond and Gabe Vincent, and then it was I can't remember. It might have been Looney and Vando, and then Vando and Draymond. Mychal, nothing happened.
Right.
But it added an excitement and an element, and it was like, oh, hey, maybe this got a little bit chippy. Everybody does stand up. Everybody does stand up. So I think there is that element. I this is the example I have. I think of everything that you just said. I think the thing that kills me with the NBA, when you say they kill the flow, imagine you're watching a movie. You're at a movie theater, and there's 10 minutes left in the movie. And it's starting to get so good. This is it. This is the most important 10 minutes of the movie. They try to always have the best at the last. And all of a sudden, 10 minutes left, they turn the lights on. And they're like, sorry, guys, we just need about 2 minutes here. We just have to make sure that the exit row, this is where the exit row is. I just want you guys to know. And please throw your trash away. And then they start the movie again. And then 3 minutes later, they say, guys, sorry, we got to turn the lights back. I'm like, you're killing the flow of this game. You're killing the flow of the movie. It's, I think baseball kind of went a little extreme, but I don't mind anything that they did. But how great was that pitch clock? To just, let's go. Let's kind of keep the game moving. We don't want, in the playoffs, it's fine. You want to, it's different maybe in the playoffs, 162 game regular season. But I think of everything you said, and all of them are fair ideas, but and I know what you're saying. Fouls are going to kill the flow. Nobody wants to watch free throws. It sounds like to me they're killing the flow, the natural flow of the game.
And get rid of coaches' challenges too. I'm so sick of seeing this after a call. But then it's just like Adam Silver in the competition. They don't get it. It's like, don't you guys watch the
weird.
Game? Yeah, don't you guys watch the game and see how this is why people are tuning out? Because of all these stupid coaches' challenges and a referee makes a call. I tell you what, let's go. We're not quite sure of the call. Let's just take the call. When I played in the game. Referees miss calls. Bad calls happen. Just like players make bad plays or turnovers happen. You got to live with it. Play on. If you miss a call, who cares? You just go out and play. Try to adjust. God, and then if you must have call reviews, no longer than 45 seconds. If you can't get it figured out by then, call stands. Let's play.
Yeah, who was it? I think it was like I hear Stu saying it all the time on the broadcast too. Give them a shot clock. Get 24 seconds. Get 30 seconds. And by the way, if it's not clear within 30, we're just going to go with whatever happened.
Yeah, go whatever. Let the call stand. Because they're supposed to have guys back in the calls review.
Secaucus.
When they call back there, what are those guys doing? Eating a pizza? And why don't they, as soon as the referees put their headphones on, the guy in the call center going, this is what happened. The call's wrong or the call's this or whatever, and go back to work. Why don't you sit over there for 5 minutes trying to figure it out?
Mychal, they're watching Goodfellas. They're bored too.
Yeah, they're watching Donnie Brasco. That's what they're doing. And then they call, hey, referee, the referee from Crypto.com wants to talk to you about that last play. What play? Oh, I'll go look at it.
Yeah, I'll figure it out now. Who do you like this weekend in the Super Bowl?
Oh, it's hard to go against Patrick Mahomes, man. I like the Eagles. The Eagles are for real. Obviously.
They're complete. Eagles, I will tell you this. That's a complete to win a Super Bowl, run, play defense. Like they got the blueprint of how you win a Super Bowl, but you got freaking Mahomes on the other side.
Let's put it this way. The Chiefs will win. The only way the Eagles can win is the scenario has to play out like this. The Eagles are up 9, not 8, but 9. So basically that's a 2-possession game. drives me crazy when I'm watching football and a team is up by 7, and those stupid announcers always say it's a 1-score game. No, it's not. It's a 2-score game.
Sure.
You got to score the touchdown and then make the extra point.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they keep saying it's a 1 possession game, but it's a 2-score game? But the Eagles better be up by 2 possessions with about 5 minutes to play, meaning they better be up by 9 or 10 points. Because if you give Patrick Mahomes 3, 4, or 5 minutes on the last play to score 7 or 8 points, he's going to find a way. He's either going to find a way to win it or to send it into overtime. So if you're up by 5 or 6 with 4 or 5 minutes to play, and now it's Kansas City's ball, you just know Holmes is going to march down the field. And for the life of me, NFL fans, as you all watch this game, and I'm sure you'll be watching, how is it that the slowest man on the field, Travis Kelce, is always open? It's not like he's running these crazy routes with this incredible 4.1 speed, 40 speed. But every time the Chiefs need 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, there's Travis Kelce open with nobody around him. How does that always happen?
Can I say the same about, I mean, are there times you're watching Jokic and saying, how the hell is this guy dominating the NBA? And you look at his frame, right? Like he's not blowing by you or anything like that. I wonder if there's kind of some similarities. Or, we were talking about Luka. When you said Luka needs to get down to 230, I was seeing all these comments saying, yeah, but he's going to lose his ability to kind of use his body and kind of push people over because of his size. But I just use that as an example because Kelsey's kind of, winners find ways to use their body perfectly.
I watch the replay. Say, okay, they'll say, well, they'll figure how they'll show the replay of why you got open. He's just running a simple little route, and the defensive back, linebackers, or whatever safeties will see him, and then they'll let him run to an open spot, and then Mahomes will just find him and throw it to him. Say, why don't you stay on his shoulder? You know he's Mahomes' favorite target when it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7. So you know what Mahomes going to look at first. So why don't you stay? I'm a safety. I got Kelce, and I'm going to stay right on his jersey and not let him just run free. They just let him run free, and he's always open. I don't get it. I asked DeMarco Farr and all these other NFL players who played in the league, how is that possible when you know that's Mahomes' favorite target, but he's always open? I know he's got Worthy and those other receivers out there who are good too, but it's like
I don't get
Kelce's always open. And he's so slow.
So how many times are they going to show Taylor Swift during the
it's got to be some kind of bet on that, right?
I'm sure. 100% there will be. So and I'm taking the over on anything that's out there.
Yeah, I'm thinking, well, obviously we got 4 quarters. Mm-hmm. And how many possessions will the Chiefs have? Let's put it this way: every possession that the Chiefs have, they'll pan to her in the stands, especially when Kelce makes a big catch.
I think they go. I think they switch it up this time. I think they do that. Plus, anytime Saquon Barkley touches the ball, they're like, let's throw it over to Taylor Swift here real quick, just for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. To see her disappointment if the Eagles get a first down or something.
Okay, I know that you love for these big games. You're kind of pre-spread. Can you tell listeners? By the way, I ran into your guy yesterday. Your Tostitos guy up there.
Yeah, Juan. Yeah.
Just your bond with the Tostitos guy at Crypto.com Arena is one of the closest bonds I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some love there. Okay, so here's my question to you. Sunday, game doesn't start, I think, till 3:30.
3:30, yeah.
How does Mychal Thompson, what are you eating? What are you snacking? Who's at the house? Like, what does it look like?
Well, around noon, 12:30. Well, let's put it this way. At 10 a.m., I will put my champagne in the freezer so I could get it frozen for 2 hours. So around 12:30, it'll be like slush, really frozen, but like champagne slush, because as I drink it takes a long time to melt and it stays ice cold. Because when I drink my champagne and peanuts mixed with salted peanuts, almonds, sweet and sour almonds.
Any cashews in there?
Pistachios. I like cashews, but no, I don't put cashews. Pistachios and some salted almonds. So that's my nuts mix. And so I'll have my champagne around 12:30 to go along with that. I'll make my guacamole and sliced up salsa that I make homemade for the game. And I'll have my Tostitos come game time. And then
can I ask the guac a little spice to it or a little?
In my guac, obviously I put lime, salt, little pepper, red pepper flakes, cilantro, my main ingredients in my guacamole, and I don't
Okay.
overwhelm it too much, but it has a little spice, but not like so overwhelming that you can't enjoy it. You still could
So
taste.
no onions, no
Oh yeah,
tomatoes.
red
Okay.
onions.
Red onions. Okay.
No pickles. Sometimes I put the jalapenos in there, but not much because I got the red pepper flakes in there for the spice. And so that'll be my guacamole. I'll cut up my Bahama tomatoes that I get from Gelson's, like sweet little yellow tomatoes. Oh, that's like eating cherries. It's so sweet. I love that. Put a little salt and pepper in there. And then what I'm going to do today is, no, Saturday, what I will do is on the way home from the Indiana game, I'll stop off at In-N-Out, get my double doubles, and I'll put them in the fridge and keep them till the game. Because I take them out and say, well, why won't you eat them right away? You put them in the fridge.
Okay.
And what you do is you take them out of the fridge the next day. You take out the meat patty with the onions on it and everything, and put it in the microwave. And what I will do is take off all the tomatoes and lettuce off the bun, put it on the side, heat it up in the microwave, and then get some other buns and put it on the burgers, and it tastes just the same, and it's just as fresh the next day after I heat it up in the microwave. So after the game, or maybe after the game, that's when I'll eat my two In-N-Out burgers after all the snacking.
Michael, who the hell am I to question your game plan? I got nothing but respect for whatever that Sunday looks like, the way you did it. I'm here just taking notes. That's it.
And the thing about it, how I'll watch the Super Bowl or where I'll watch the Super Bowl is right here in my room by myself. I don't want anybody around me. I've been invited to I don't want to invite anybody over, so I'm being kind of selfish here. I was invited. I don't know if you ever heard of this comedian. You ever heard of Fluffy?
Oh, yeah.
The great Fluffy, one of the funniest lives. He invited me to come over to his house for a Super Bowl party. I said, thanks, Fluff, but no thanks. I'm just going to watch the game by myself. So because I like to watch I want to see the commercials.
I'm with you.
The comment. I don't want to have people talking and all this distractions going on. I just want to sit there by myself, with my feet up, and watch it. My son Trace is still in town. I was almost thinking, should I invite him to come over and watch the game, him and his wife and kids? But I was thinking, no, it's because if he brings my grandson, then my grandson won't leave me alone. He's going to want to take me outside and play with him while the game's going on. And as much as I love Roman, I don't know if
Roman, it's third and goal. We don't have time for this.
Yeah. He's like, he calls me Appa, for APPA. Appa, come outside. I'm thinking, Roman, the Super Bowl's on. Sit here and watch it with me. He'll watch for a second. Say, no, I want to go outside. And he wants to go outside and play and all that stuff. And the game will be on. So I didn't even want Roman to come over tomorrow, as much as I love him. He's 3.5 years old, because he won't leave me alone. He won't let me watch the game in peace. He want me to go outside and play baseball with him or play golf with him or something. So even if Trace was here, his father was here, he'd ignore his father. He wants to hang out with me and wants me to go outside and play with him, or take him down the street to the park, and where all the mothers will be with their kids. Game.
You might as well go to the mall or something. If
right.
you're going to go to the park, you might as well just go to the mall. There's going to be nobody there.
Yeah. So I've decided I'm just going to watch the game by myself.
God, I love the story, Michael. All right. Do I ask you this final one? I thought of you when this is just very random out of left field. When all the drone situation was going on out in Jersey area, right? I know you have like certain fascinations, and there's certain times that you get kind of locked in on things. Were you locked in on figuring out what the hell these drones were?
I don't understand why some American citizens are so dumb. I said it's the government doing some kind of experimental stuff with the drones to see if these work.
And that's what it was.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Now, maybe some other people send their private drones up just to be a part of it, to freak the public out. But people think, oh, it's the Chinese, it's the Russians. Come on. Or some people think, oh, it's some kind of space aliens. I said, this is just the government just testing out new drones and not telling anybody and freaking everybody out. But that's what it is. Some kind of new government experiment. They're trying to see how these drones would work in certain situations. And President Trump looked into it, and that's exactly what it was. And I can't believe people couldn't figure that out, and we're all freaked out about it. So what I said, it's probably the government just doing some testing on drones.
All right, I hit everything I was hoping for. I got your Super Bowl spread. We got drones in at the end. You told me Luka needs to lose some weight, and I think we'd have. I don't want to boil your blood too much, because I could have said, what do you think of Canelo and Jake Paul? Or I think that was the fight, but that got canceled. And I know you would have completely lost it with more of these exhibition fights.
Why did it get canceled? I didn't hear that part.
It got canceled. I know that he is fighting. I think he's got a deal in Saudi Arabia
Yeah, to fight Terence Crawford then. But I was thinking Canelo. I always been thinking Canelo. If Jake Paul is calling you out, do it for $100 million. Basically, what he might probably make, because it would be a
level him to the ground, and then we're all happy.
Yeah, he's a lot heavier than Canelo, of course. 200 pounds to Canelo's 168, 170. But Canelo would toy with him. You know, Jake Paul is an amateurist boxer. He fights a bunch of guys who can't fight, really, basically on his level. If Jake Paul ever got in a ring with a real boxer, he'd get knocked out in one round. And Canelo would just toy with him, just basically spar with him. That'd be the easiest fight in Canelo's history, and he'd make $100 million. I always thought Canelo, for business reasons, do it. So what if people ridicule you? Nobody cares. You're Canelo Alvarez. You can do whatever you want. And if Jake Paul and you can fight, and it'll be an easy fight for you to make $100 million, why not? That would be like LeBron playing against a high school player. You know, do it just for and make it $100 million.
That was Mayweather McGregor.
Yeah,
right?
McGregor.
It was Floyd he basically sparred for.
Yeah, Floyd toyed with him and then decided by the 10th round, okay, now I'll knock him out. And that's what he did. You can't put a novice fighter like Jake Paul in the ring with a real fighter like Canelo Alvarez. It's a joke.
Michael, great stuff, brother. Yeah. I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking the time. I love the array of topics that we hit on. I had to get your thoughts on, of course, the NBA trade deadline and Luka, but that's great stuff, brother. I appreciate your time.
All right, let's do it again soon.
All right, Michael. Thank you, bud.
You bet.
All right, have a good weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir.
All right,
only if I'm alone.
All right, that is Mychal Thompson right there. That's a fun conversation. Well, good man. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know that was kind of a little bit all over the place, and we're going to hit on a lot of random topics, but I got to be honest with you. I got to do that with Michael. Michael, he's got a lot of interests, so I got to make sure. I hope he watches Donnie Brasco. He's got to watch Donnie Brasco. If there's one thing he took out of this conversation, go watch Donnie Brasco. That was fun. Solid. What a good dude. I miss Michael. I used to see that guy obviously basically every day, but phenomenal. God, that guy is just freaking hilarious. All right, let's take a look at some of your guys' comments. Thank you for your services, MT. Salute, MT. MT. Thanks, MT. MT is iconic. MT the GOAT. They love themselves some MT. This one, easy money, basically talking about obviously the fight. Actually, that threw me off a little bit. I didn't think. I thought he was going to say those exhibition fights. That's BS. I'll give Michael credit in this. Michael likes paying attention to the financial side of things, the money side. So Michael's saying, go get your 100 mil. He's basically telling Canelo, you still go fight all these other guys, but just go grab a quick, cool 100 mil and then move on from there. How about how blunt he was about Luka? Right? About, telling everybody that the Luka side of things is going to be incredibly important for him to drop some weight. What do you say? 230 is the right weight for him? Okay, so for those who didn't know that Charles Barkley story real quick that he mentioned earlier, Moses Malone one time told Charles Barkley, you're too fat. And I think Barkley at one time was like 270. I think part of the reason why Barkley ballooned in his weight, I don't think he wanted to play in Philly. So Moses Malone said, lose 10 pounds and tell me how you feel. So he goes from 270 to 260. And he tells, Moses Malone, okay, hey, I'm at 260. He's like, okay, lose another 10. It's like, okay. Loses another 10. Moses, I'm at 250. He's like, okay. Lose another 10. He's like, what the hell's going on here? What is this going to get? He got him all the way down to 230. And then Barkley told Moses Malone, I'm too light. He goes, okay, well, what do you think you need to do for your body? I think he got to about 240, somewhere around there. And then Charles Barkley was like, this is where I'm at my best. I'm at 240. I feel like I can get up and down the floor, but I could still be physical. I could still go grab the boards. And I think the point that Michael was trying to make is find whatever that perfect balance is for you to be the player that you are, the elite player that you are, but also take your game to another level because you feel good, you look good, you feel good, the whole kind of methodology that comes with that. with Luka. So that part was interesting. I definitely thought I definitely thought that was an interesting conversation. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see. I heard fans are boycotting the Super Bowl. I did not hear that. And they should boycott Super Bowl, obviously rigged. What are they boycotting it for? I don't know what they're boycotting. Fans are boycotting. I have no idea what this is. Is this a Fugazi too? Is this like the beginning of the Shams deal as well? All right, let's we got our weekend preview coming up here. Let me throw this on here. I want to talk a little bit about weekend preview we got coming. Of course, weekend preview is presented by the Wallace firm, so shout out to them. Proud partner of the Sliwa Show, proud partner of the channel. I appreciate Brad Wallace's team. Need legal help for a serious injury? The Wallace firm are proven trial lawyers. Go to wallacewins.com/Sliwa to learn more. Super Bowl. Let me start with our preview here real quick. As far as the Super Bowl, kind of crazy how quiet the Super Bowl is. I don't really hear much at all about the Super Bowl right now. By the way, I'm going to answer more of your guys' questions because I know there was a lot of stuff in there when I was talking to Mychal. So I'll come back to that. So something to keep in mind. And if you guys don't mind, please subscribe to the channel. We're closing in on 30,000. I've probably got close to 5,000 to 6,000 new subscribers over these last few months. So it's just great growth for the channel, but I could use your support by subscribing to the channel. Okay, Super Bowl. I'm going Eagles. I'm going Philly. I think Philly beats the Chiefs. And I know everybody's going to say the same thing. Guys, Patrick Mahomes is on that side. Why the hell would you bet on against Patrick Mahomes? Yeah, it's a little bit of a wild card. Chiefs probably should win. Andy Reid, proven. Travis Kelce, proven. Patrick Mahomes, you know his resume. We don't have to talk about it. They got the pedigree. I'm going to give Philly the edge for this reason and this reason alone. They got one of the best defenses in the league, and they run the ball down your throat in Saquon Barkley. And it's not like Jalen Hurts is not a good quarterback. He's a phenomenal quarterback. Probably come down to the turnover game. You know, if Philly's got 2 turnovers and Kansas City doesn't have any, okay, we know what's going to happen. That means Kansas City is winning a Super Bowl. If there's any mistakes by the Kansas City Chiefs and Philly capitalizes on it, Philly probably wins it. But just watching, I remember it was, I think, week 12 that the Rams played the Eagles, and that was at SoFi Stadium. And that's the game that you saw Saquon run for 255. Their defense was awesome. They forced turnovers. At that moment, I'm like, that's a blueprint of a Super Bowl. Now, granted, you're probably looking at the other side. You dumbass, a blueprint of a Super Bowl is actually a franchise that keeps winning Super Bowls, which is Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. But I will go out on the out on the limb on this one and just say I'm going to go Philadelphia. Should be a fun game. I love the matchup. I really, really think the matchup is phenomenal, so that should be fun. All right, another weekend preview here that I want to hit on. Mavs expecting weird scene in first home game post-trade. Klay Thompson talked about it. You heard Mychal referencing it as well. It's going to be kind of weird tomorrow. It's their first home game. And they got the Houston Rockets, so should be a good game. Houston, by the way, has lost 5 in a row. I'm actually rooting for Dallas tomorrow. Make it 6 in a row. Lakers can potentially pass the Rockets in the NBA standings. A GoFundMe page has been created in Dallas so they can put up billboards criticizing both general manager Nico Harrison and the Adelson family. That's the new ownership group that took over in 2023. They took over from Mark Cuban. They want to put billboards up that are basically demolishing the Dallas Mavericks front office and ownership. I guess they've already raised about $40,000. Spencer Dinwiddie, it shows what Luka meant to the community. It shows how much the fan base loves him. Also, I think for a fan base that had Dirk for 20 years and seemingly right when Dirk was about to retire, they got Dirk 2.0 in a sense. A lot of people got their thoughts. I just hope this doesn't happen. I hope that nothing stupid happens, right? Like whatever happens, just let's make sure nothing stupid happens. One other thing I want to do on the weekend preview, just some games to keep in mind. Lakers got Pacers tomorrow, by the way. No Luka. Looks like Luka's going to make his debut for the Lakers coming up on Monday against the Jazz. Rockets Mavs tomorrow, I mentioned, so that game's got a little bit of juice. You want a good Saturday night game? 5 p.m. Thunder Grizzlies. I think Memphis has won 9 of 10, something like that. They're balling out. I don't need to tell you about OKC and what they've been doing. Yeah, Memphis has won 9 of 10. So you got the two best teams in the Western Conference that are going to go up against each other. That should be a fun game. Celtics Knicks Saturday night as well at 5:30. Nuggets Suns going on as well. We got some good games coming up on Saturday. And then Sunday it's the Lord's Day for the Super Bowl. We all just kind of take a step back for that day. All right, that's what we got as far as our weekend preview. Okay, let's take a look at some of the comments, and then we're gonna get out of here. Quick reminder here. Thank you to all the new members that are a part of the show. For those who don't know, I started memberships on Monday. If you want to be an MVP member, very easy. It's $3 a month. You support the channel. It's a great, great way to support the channel. And you got my word that, I'm going to make sure that you get value out of that. Eventually, I'm going to have exclusive content for members, special emojis, all that stuff. But for now, if you're looking for another way to support the channel, be an MVP member, $3 a month. I just put a link in the description if anybody's got interest or wants to be a part of it. Okay, let's take a look now at if you can click on it. Let's take a look now at some of your guys' comments. Al, great show. Thank you very much. Mavs owner doesn't own casinos in Vegas. They don't, but I was listening to a couple podcasts. The state of Texas is basically a very, very untapped market for casinos, and eventually that's going to come. And I think part of their big plans, which I don't think has anything to do with the Luka trade, I just think they're idiots. I think or maybe just didn't realize how big of an impact this was going to be, which makes them idiots. I do think that, I guess what they're trying to do, they're trying to build a new stadium, and within that stadium, it's a casino. So you kind of got to go through the casino to get to the arena. That's the idea. That's the concept. We'll see if they're, obviously able to do that. All right, let me get some more comments in here. You think the Lakers will still look at Steven Adams? I think what you're saying is if he's available in the buyout market. No, I actually think this is probably, by the way, progress to perfection. Thank you for the super. I think probably the most realistic guys, Josh Richardson. Lakers can't go after anybody that, I think it's $12.9 million is their salary. What are some of the other names that I had put out there? We were talking about this a little bit earlier. Seth Curry, Reggie Jackson were a couple names out there as well. I will tell you this. I don't think they're going to find this, game changer. I don't think they're going to find this game changer. Let's get another one in here. From the padlock dog pound to the Pels impound, we know why Cam was getting no run. Still hurt for Dalton and Max. LA has no patience for youth development. Arthur, let me tell you something. Some franchises have the ability to build one way. Other franchises have a different way of building. And I think for the Lakers, it is clear drafting and developing is not typically in the cards. I mean, you go back and look when they traded for Anthony Davis. Brandon Ingram, where's he at now? He left the Pelicans. He's with the Raptors. Josh Hart is with the New York Knicks. Lonzo Ball is with the Chicago Bulls. Everything they traded, they got Anthony Davis for, won an NBA championship, and then traded Anthony Davis as part of a deal for Luka Doncic. I can't be mad at the Lakers for taking advantage of having a franchise that just kind of crops stars. Not even crops stars, grabs stars from other places. Sometimes they crop them, right? Magic was drafted by the Lakers. Kobe was clearly drafted by the Lakers. Sometimes they get guys that, that comes through, I guess you could say, the system. But for the most part, Lakers are known for making trades, acquiring guys in free agency and things like that. So you might love Dalton. You might love Max, which I'm with you. Max Christie, I saw a tweet yesterday that he had really good numbers for the Dallas Mavericks yesterday. But you might see numbers like that, or you might see his progress, his continued development. But at the end of the day, there's just no franchise out there other than the Dallas Mavericks that would not trade for Luka Doncic if you had an opportunity for him at that age, at that young of an age. All right, let's get some more in here. Okay, let's keep going here. Michael's the best, man. I could sit and have that. I could sit and have that conversation anytime with him. There's so many topics that you can hit on. He's got to see Donnie Brasco. Right when the show's done, I'm texting him, go see Donnie Brasco. Okay, what do we think? Are we good today? We good for the week? Crazy week, man. Gotta be honest with you. You know, sometimes you can kind of grind these out, no problem. You guys know, I mean, it's actually not that much different when I used to do it 7:10, right? At 7:10, there was a time where I was doing pre, I was doing post, I was doing Lakers talk, I was doing Travis and Sleva show, and your days were just wild, like it never ended. It's actually interesting now kind of doing what I'm doing because I almost feel like it's kind of a similar schedule, except I don't have guaranteed checks coming in. What are you going to do? Yeah, no more 401k. Insurance is gone, you know? People are like, well, why didn't you just stay over there? No, I'm having fun doing this. I'm enjoying doing it. No question about it. But this week was crazy. This week was wild, right? From the Lakers beating the Knicks and playing some better basketball. And then it was just like after that, it was Saturday night, Sunday, Monday. I mean, leading up to the trade deadline. And then last night a game as well. And then here we are on Friday morning. All right, my people. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out. What do we do? A buck 40 today? Buck 40 on the podcast. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. Phenomenal stuff. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for supers, the new members that we had. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed to the channel. Let's definitely do this again tomorrow after the Lakers take on the Indiana Pacers. I think I could safely say for the rest of today, I think I'm done. I think I literally can say for the rest of the day, we are done. We're all going to just enjoy our Friday nights. We're going to come back tomorrow after the Lakers take on the Pacers. Tough game tomorrow. I'm telling you guys. Tomorrow's a very, very tough game. If Lakers lost tomorrow, I would not be surprised at all. Pacers are playing some good ball, and the Lakers, they definitely got to get their guys. They got to get Luka in. They got to get Mark Williams in. They got to get everybody in. So it's going to be a tough game tomorrow. But we'll be back tomorrow for the post-game show. Thank you very much for hanging out. Phenomenal week. Greatly appreciate everybody hanging out all week. And if this was the first time you're been a part of the channel with all this news that was coming in, welcome. And thank you for being a part of it. And if you've been here for a long time, always appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your morning. Thank you to Mychal Thompson, and we will catch up with you guys tomorrow. Have a great Friday.